Good evening and a very warm welcome to First Issues. Aviation has always inspired a sense of wonder. Whether this is because of the sheer power of these massive machines or because they are evidence of man defying the power of gravity, I do not know. Despite this awe-inspiring reputation, industry publications, as well as mainstream heavy hitters, the likes of Time and Forbes magazine, have been forecasting a shortage of pilots in countries such as North America and the UK. This compounds the well-documented challenge of producing the science and technology students needed to fulfill other roles within the industry. The engineers, satellite designers, ATC controllers, and so on that will contribute to making the industry greener, sustainable, and more efficient as is needed in the near future. Could it be that the romanticism that was once associated with aviation careers is fading? I still recall the sheer excitement of being dressed to the nines just to go to the airport and watching planes taxiing in and flying out. The sheer excitement that used to overcome children at the National Stadium during BDF Day. Could this be happening even though the aviation sector is still producing enough jobs going into the future, as it is a key driver of globalization? The number of air shows in these countries is said to be dwindling as well, even though they have been identified as important tools for inspiring younger people to pursue careers in aviation, allowing them to get up close and personal with the majestic machines and big personalities in aviation. We visited the Westbank Botswana International Airshow on Saturday the 28th of May this year to find out if indeed air shows are more than just pure entertainment. As usual, it was truly something to see, drawing everybody from the President of Botswana, Lieutenant General Dr. Saratsakama Ian Khama, to even the smallest members of our citizenry. Among the many dignitaries present at the show, on the 28th of May 2016 at Matsieng Grounds near Rasisa, was the Minister of Transport and Communications, Mr. Tsenolo Mabeo.
I think you can see how many people really turned up for this event, and that really goes on to tell you that this event is huge and it means a lot to Botswana, more especially to the Ministry of Transport. We've opened up the skies. Today we're witnessing a lot of aircrafts that have been flown as far as from Durban, Cape Town, to come here to actually partake in this event. It is very important that as we see this event grow, from strength to strength every year, we should take advantage of this as the country or as the ministry to actually grow onto this, to see the aviation sector grow. And we should actually look even further than that, to actually look into those pilots who are currently in the sector but have not yet actually come to that level where they could perform all these stunts. And I think it is these stunts that are pulling all this huge crowd. And as a government, I think we should also put more resources in training our pilots beyond just, ordinary aircrafts.
The sponsors of the Westbank Botswana International Airshow also appear to be aware of the multiple benefits offered by such an event.
The most important thing that you have to realize with aviation passion, I agree it's very expensive, but as a financier, that's where we chip in. We've got, structured deals that we can do. If you are a client and you are interested, we can help you acquire that asset. It doesn't even stop there. We've got that actual trained pilots. I believe will play a very important role in that. But just by mere sponsoring that role, that means for a lot of the youth or aspiring pilots, they actually get, first-hand information. They get to experience this whole event and see what it brings or changes that they can make in their careers.
Welcome back to First Issues. Along with an array of other careers in aviation that children could be drawn into is stunt flying. And we speak to some of the headliners at this year's event to find out more about what it takes to be a stunt pilot.
I started off at the age of 4. I've been at air shows. It's been a lifetime. You need to grow it into yourself as a passion. And becoming a stunt pilot, the first time I actually did aerobatics was the age of 11 in Harvard, at T6 Harvard. And now today I get to fly at T6 Harvard, and it's what a great privilege. You need to start off as a passion, and I believe if you go to air shows, this is where you learn aerobatics, and that's where a lot of the generations take place. You know, if you go look at Scully Levine and Ellis Levine, father and son team. If you go look at Jason Beamish and Larry Beamish, father and son team. And it's unfortunate my dad can't fly with me, but it started off at a generation of very, very young age.
I became a stunt pilot because I went insane. No, I'm kidding. I've been a commercial pilot since I was the age of 18. I started flying when I was 14, and then I got bored with flying straight and level. So I decided to start flying upside down. Gliders, of course, don't do that normally. They fly straight and level, and they turn in circles like a vulture, and they fly for hundreds of kilometers. So we decided to take one and become a stunt pilot with one.
Well, it's like most pilots. We grow up at air shows, go to air shows, interested in aviation from a young age. And the first thing that you have to basically do is to get a private pilot's license. From there on, you progress into aerobatic aircraft like this one behind me here. And you attend aerobatic competitions until you eventually can get invited to participate in air shows.
Reality-wise, it's not a cheap function that you do here. You know, everything comes out your own back pockets. If you get a sponsorship, then it's great. Then it's smooth sailing. But if you start off on the ground value, it's number one, you need aircraft. Number two, you need financial capability. Number three, you need the support. Like the guys have come out to Botswana to support the teams. If you don't have support, you don't have fuel. So you don't have an air show. So you need the support function there.
It's quite a bit. One of them certainly is a cost. It's not a cheap exercise to get into it. You've got to have a right mindset. Got to be able to put in a lot of work and to get where you want to be. The effort, the training, the practice, it's like being an athlete. It's pretty much the same thing as any athlete. That the willingness to want to participate.
This is pure passion. I love it. This is weekend flying for me. I get to fly aerobatics in Harvard majority of the time, and this is sport aerobatics. It's fantastic. It's lovely.
The sponsors of the West Bank Botswana International Air Show may have their own reasons for supporting this annual spectacle. But tonight we speak to other stakeholders to determine whether indeed air shows are more than just sheer exhilarating entertainment and actually tools for inspiring the younger generation to pursue careers in aviation.
It was very nice. I experienced different kind of planes. There were different sizes, and the other planes could go higher and the other planes could go lower.
It was nice. The airplanes were going doing the style, and then they're doing the backflip, and then.
I liked how the trios, the three of the airplanes went like this, up into like a little bowl.
Yeah, I've never been to the air show, but it was a great experience, especially for a first-time comer. My favorite part was when you saw the trio and when there were four, when you had the four aircrafts going and swooping around, and I think that was really cool. And the fact that we have the commentator explaining who the people are, what they're doing, that makes it so much better.
My kids are my future. My kids are my star. They still have got loads of dreams. So, you know, these things of aeroplanes, they always read about in the books. So this is an opportunity, it's an advantage to me to bring them here. One day or the other, there might be a chopper mechanic, aircraft mechanic, or maybe pilots, you never know.
After tonight's conversations, we trust you have a better appreciation of the true value of this annual spectacle. Up next, we talk corporate social responsibility. Welcome back to First Issues. Dr. Wayne Visser, founder and CEO of CSR International, writes that although the 21st century has spawned a plethora of CSR guidelines, codes, and standards, with more than 100 listed in the A to Z of corporate social responsibility, and the modern concept of CSR can be traced back to the mid to late 1800s, business has done little to alleviate social problems. In one of his many books on the subject, he writes that in fact, our global ecological footprint has tripled since 1961. The World Wildlife Fund's Living Planet Index shows a 29% species decline since 1970. And 60% of the world's ecosystems have been degraded. We do not fare much better on social issues. According to the United Nations Development Programme, 2.5 billion people still live on less than $2 a day, and 1 billion have no access to safe water. David Packard, co-founder of Hewlett-Packard, has gone as far as to say that many people assume wrongly that a company exists solely to make money, saying he believes that people get together and exist as a company so that they are able to accomplish something collectively that they could not accomplish separately. They make a contribution to society. Sentiments echoed by a representative of the Chinese Chamber of Commerce late last year when making a donation to a school for the disabled.
We are going to make some donate 20,000 to Moswa Lady Rehabilitation Center. It's a disabled school. On the other hand, we make some donation to the children or the people need help to remind the community is a part of our social responsibilities.
On the 20th of May, we traveled to Lobatse to witness FNB Foundation trustees commit to giving the Botswana Association of Psychological Rehabilitation, or BAPR, with 1,139,302 pula. To begin, we looked to discern what this donation means not only for BAPR, but the community in general.
This funding brings a lot of hope for us and our clients as well, because then we'll be able to reach more people than before, because now with the money we can try new things like economic empowerment for women as well as for children, because we have a situation in Beleng where most people are unemployed. But through this funding, then we'll be able to train them on economic activities such that they can be able to fund their own activities back at home and support their families. And also with the afternoon program, we'll be able to provide for their needs. That is the food that we provide them with, and also train them on life skills, because coming from poverty-stricken household, they will need the skills so that they can make a better future for themselves and their families.
Who exactly stands to benefit from the work that you do? How important is the role of BAPR in the community in which it's in?
Okay, our target includes orphans and vulnerable children, also known as OVCs. There are families sometimes who are infected or affected by HIV, other chronic illnesses such as cancer and all the like. So with this funding or with our activities, we are able to provide psychosocial support in this sense, counseling, and we refer them for other services that we can provide in the center. We also accompany them to health facilities where they can get their refills and medication on time.
Welcome back to First Issues, as in this segment, we continue to consider the role corporate social responsibility, or CSR, plays in the overall running of businesses operating locally. So since the establishment of this organization in 1993, can you point to maybe a measurable achievement that has been made, or one that's very significant or close to your heart?
Our database this year, I'm talking about between September and now, it shows that we have reached a maximum of 600 people. So we have a lot of success stories. I would mention a few, like with the Sijos Senior Support Group. We taught them how to start their own backyard gardens. Some have that gardens which they support their families with. So it's some of the things that I can say have shown impact. We have people that have been trained by the offset, where they've been taught to sew. So they have started their own small businesses. Therefore, they have taught others and created employment for other people as well. So it's something that we can be proud to say we have at least facilitated for them to achieve that.
As an NGO, how do you appeal to businesses on non-profits such as yourselves? What's in it for them, if at all, there's anything?
We invite them to the center so that they can see the people that they'll be helping, in this case the children, because I know that children oftentimes hit someone's heart, so they will feel the need to do something, and in turn they know that the investment will go a long way, because once you teach a child something at a younger age, then they'll grow to be someone who's responsible in the community, as well as their families. We know that people come from different family backgrounds, so if you help them to move from one point of that situation to another, we make a change in them, we give them that hope. We give them that hope so that they can be able to continue with their lives and move to a better position in their lives.
We also spoke to a representative from the FNB Foundation to understand the motives behind these types of initiatives. We just want to get an understanding of what FNB's CSR philosophy truly is. I think we found that their businesses adopt CSR at different levels. For some it's quite superficial, for some it's the core of their operations. Where would you say?
FNB, we believe that in giving back to the community, and we do take a lot of projects that varies from sports to social welfare to helping people in some businesses, that type of thing really.
Are there particular stakeholders or issues that FNB has identified as their main focus for their CSR objectives?
Essentially, we look at all aspects, we evaluate all requests that come to us to see if they are sustainable. Sustainability is one of the most important things that we actually do. And normally it's about communities, not individuals. If an institution, say NGO, is dealing with HIV and they want to start something that's going to help the community, they can just apply to us and can evaluate what our project is going to be. But we like to make sure that they understand what they want to do so that it is sustainable in the long term.
Do you agree with CSR theorists who say a business should not exist, more to service people than to make a profit? Do you think that's something that's realistic?
I think it's unrealistic, and I think a business is a business. It has to make money, but at the same time also society has to benefit from that as well. So I mean, I don't think one can be a Puritan and just choose one.
What can we expect with regards to FNB Foundation's work going forward in the short and even long term? What other projects, apart from today's exciting activity?
We have so many projects across the country. There's one that we do every year, that donating shoes to school children. We just did that last week, and we did that every year. At the moment, there are some requests to start a rehabilitation place for children in Maung. I went there to evaluate what they want to do, and we're looking at the project. We're going to take it forward. There's so many that basically I can't, list all of them. The last couple of weeks ago, we opened. We went to Camp Hill in Otse, where we're going to be building a hostel for the students there.
This was the first time that BAPR had been sponsored by a member of the private sector since their inception in 1993. And we can only hope to see more businesses do much more of the same for similar organizations. Thank you for joining us once again this evening. In closing, we'll read the winning response to last week's episode, charting the contributions teachers have made to the nation's development.
Even when we see that what we are earning is little, you will never think, because of this, I can stop working.
out there a happy man.
The job itself satisfies you.
I have seen the fruits of my labor.
It reads, Season 7 finished lovely with a nice topic. I wish all teachers could have watched it. Money at work can't take us nowhere, but passion always will. Keep sending in your comments, questions and feedback, and don't forget to include your name along with your text, and you could be next week's winning viewer. With that, we wish you good night.